Shut up and sit down.
It's where the big boys play. Sicw.
Who's going to get what?
You're gonna get a nasty burn.
He does a spot on Sicw YouTube where he has a segment now, and it's called the Nasty Burn.
It's a whole nasty talk segment,
Yeah.
and in that he does like a joke on somebody, and then he's ooh nasty burn.
Well, I mean,
He's pretty.
I guess if he wants to be gay, I mean, he can go ahead and do that. But
have you seen his
I'm not gonna
Facebook
judge him.
profile pictures of him in a Speedo?
well, since we're talking about old Glenn Williams, just I know a lot of people, probably the majority of people, have no idea who we're talking about. Hell, I remember, 2 years ago, I was in the ring with.
Hold on, Nate. Before you do that, welcome to the Squared Ring Podcast. We are assembled here to talk about professional wrestling. We try to hit the big topics of conversation, along with some local wrestling. And we are already going to talk about some local wrestling with a very popular Mr. Big Nasty Glenn Williams, who also shares the name with this cowboy in the hat down here, Nasty Nate here. So go ahead, Nate. Hit him up.
Well, in honor of the Olympics, we're going to have a nasty Olympics going on here because, I am the gold-winning Nasty Nate here, and nobody knows who the hell Glenn Williams is. A couple of years ago, I was in the ring with Jimmy Hart. Nasty comes up, tries to introduce himself. Jimmy Hart goes, who?
All right.
So anyway, one of the shows on his Instagram page, you can either go to ours to find his or whatever you want to do, go to his. He was talking about old Big Bertha and her diabetes, and he was prancing around the ring like he was cock of the walk and like he was a little unicorn. But hell, if that man was a unicorn, he'd be shit in one color, it'd only be brown, and he would have an innie horn and not an outie. So I have no idea what he's talking about. That man looked higher than brontosaurus balls. The dude has no idea what he's talking about.
So
do you want to know how high a brontosaurus balls are?
Well, I know it's hard for you, Bobby, but I actually went to school and university, so
Yeah, but there's no skin and stuff left over on a fossil to know how far they're actually hanging down.
How do you think they reproduced?
I'm not saying they didn't have them, but we don't know how big their sacks were.
Yeah, but Glenn is itty bitty.
They make guesses, but
so that whole statement, what are you challenging Glenn to?
For you guys, you're gonna go wrestling.
Oh no! You can't open your mouth and then have me and Bobby close it. No. Maybe you should reconsider and rethink this out.
This is just a straight nasty off. If Glenn wants to get in the ring, hell, I can do that.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I was gonna think like chicken wing contest or something.
Man, I don't eat that much, you know that. I don't gobble what Glenn gobbles.
Before we get deep in the conversation, my voice is shot. I think I've got some sort of sickness. It's not in my head this time. It's all in my throat. So I don't know if it's from the matches this past weekend or what the hell's going around. But my voice is going. But I do want to start off this podcast with wishing Tugboat, Mr. Fred Ottoman, a speedy recovery because he has been in the hospital the last 30 days with his gallbladder rupturing and almost killing him. So he's out of the hospital. So hopefully he's on the road to recovery. And we at the Squared Ring Podcast just give the best wishes out to him, and hopefully it's a fast recovery. But hot topics. So it came out this weekend that Braun Breaker from the WWE, the reason why he was not in the Royal Rumble, and it was almost a little controversy because the day before the Rumble, I guess on Friday Night SmackDown, some person put on the bottom of the screen that Braun Breaker was going to be the first entrant in the Royal Rumble. and like that started a whole bunch of oh, it got leaked out, someone screwed up, Braun Breaker is going to be number one, and then I guess Triple H had to change some things around, so he was number two, but he never got in the Rumble because a guy in the black hoodie jumped him, and he never officially made it into the Rumble. But we found out this weekend that it was because he had suffered a hernia, and he actually had surgery, and now they don't know a time frame that he's going to come back. Now, the reason why this is a hot topic is because with Seth Rollins' injury, Braun Breaker was set up to be the man. And everything was, the stars were lining for Braun Breaker. He was a breakout star, no pun intended. But everything was lined up for him to have his shot, and for him to get injured. And now they don't even know he's going to be at WrestleMania because of this surgery that he had. But a lot of speculation is talking that the guy in the hoodie could have actually been Seth Rollins. Now, Seth Rollins is currently out with a shoulder injury. So they're saying that, it could have been a guy that looks like Seth Rollins that they stuck in there to have him do the curb stomp that actually got Braun Breaker out. And that it could be Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker at WrestleMania if they're both healed and cleared. Now, this is kind of mixing with the whole story of the new Vision, is what they call it. Seth Rollins' group. Braun Breaker was part of the group. So now it's a whole speculation. Is Seth Rollins going rogue on his own group? Or is Braun Breaker trying to take control of the group and Seth doesn't want it? What's your guys' opinions on it?
Or there was a guy that just joined the group wearing hoodies and curb stomping people and then disappearing.
Well, let me throw this at you. So on tonight's Raw, I'll just throw out, if you haven't seen tonight's Raw, spoiler alert, the guy in the hoodie came out again during Austin Theory's match. It was a three-way dance, LA Knight, Austin Theory, and Penta. And the winner of the match is going into the Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks. And everyone was told to stay out of this match, the rest of the Vision. But of course, they didn't listen. So the rest of the Vision came down. Bronson Reed, that YouTuber, Logan Paul. And so they came out, fucked with LA Knight. We thought LA Knight was going to lose the match because of it. But Penta saved the day and prevented Austin from pinning LA Knight. And then Penta got knocked down, of course. And then the guy in the hoodie comes out and curb stomps Austin Theory and throws him back in the ring to allow LA Knight to win the match and being sent into the Elimination Chamber in 2 weeks. So, again, is it Seth Rollins? Is he dismantling his old team, which he currently just built? I mean, it's not like this faction has been like 6 months, a year, 2 years in the making. I mean, it's probably been less than 6 months that this whole group got together. And for him to just leave the group already.
Oh, well, Triple H has been failing at storyline, so maybe he's trying to do a reset.
I say I don't mind a reset because he doesn't fit in with anyone else in that group, personality-wise. Like, he's the I don't know if you call him flamboyant, but his outfits are at least flamboyant and loudly spoken and all that. Like, he's opposite of every person in the group. He does not fit in that group.
Well, I think, everyone in that group except for Logan Paul. Logan Paul is pretty good on the mic. And Braun Breaker's not bad, but you can still tell that he's new to having a mic shoved in his face. So I think Seth Rollins had to be the leader of the group because the group had to have a mouthpiece.
Yeah, it's Paul Heyman, the greatest on the mic.
But he can't be on the mic the whole time. You know, it's something with a wrestler being able to talk for himself to get himself over. I mean, yes, it has worked in the past that a manager can talk for you and get yourself over. And you can almost say that he did that with Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar sucks on the microphone. But it was actually Brock Lesnar's physical body, his muscle bound features that actually got himself over, plus his brute strength and his, his wrestling skill. Because,
The fact that he's a tank.
right.
I say, but you got the other end of it too. Like Heyman, like Roman Reigns was terrible on the mic, and then week in and week out, like it was started with Heyman doing 98% of the talking, then down to 95%, like just kind of training him a little bit at a time each week, giving him more and more. Like you do that with Heyman and the rest of that group.
Well, that, like I said, that's one of the hot topics going on is what's going to go on for WrestleMania. Because WrestleMania seems to be a clusterfuck right now. And I guess we'll go into Nathan's topic about what's happening with WrestleMania.
Yeah, they are having issues selling tickets to the point where there was a 20% drop in sales. Now it's 18% because they lowered some of the prices in the cheap seats. But because of, well, Las Vegas
like the cheap
paid
seats like last year where people were watching their phones because of the better view, and they still paid like $800.
$800 to watch your phone. I can do that here. Screw that shit. I don't need to go to Vegas to do that.
But
I'll go to Vegas to watch wrestling anyway. But yeah, with that, Las Vegas paid a site fee. What was it, $100 million or whatever it is to have WrestleMania there, which they won't next year because it's going to Saudi Arabia. But it's not just the site fee. The site fee was to bring tourism in to where the bars, the hotels, the casinos, everybody could pay a licensing fee to Vegas to rebroadcast that, and their business is for the tourists that don't want to pay the ungodly amount of money to go watch a WWE show. So because of that, $5 million they paid.
Yeah. Well, $5 million for 25, $6 million for 2026. So my bad, $6 million this time.
$6 million. Well, still $11 million.
Well, yeah, still a lot of money. A lot of money,
so,
and it's screwing up the whole Las Vegas atmosphere.
To the point where WWE, TKO, not WWE themselves, the foreign-owned entity of it, instituted a 50-mile blackout to where now, regardless of that site fee, they won't be able to rebroadcast to try and drive ticket sales.
Now,
and
are they doing the blackout like at that time, or is it like a different time?
It's at that time. It's when it's being filmed there. But also the other problem is all the ancillary companies that do all their things around WWE are also going to suffer that as well. Not to mention the fact that many of those companies, when TKO takes it home, back, even though TKO is owned by a company in Dubai, but, the Princess of Dubai, and they're going to Saudi Arabia, those ancillary companies that make so much money riding the coattails and eating the crumbs are not going. They're not getting approvals to go. So, I mean, the ecosystem of the juggernaut that is WWE is failing. And people, I've seen it broadcast. I've read all this weekend, except for screwing up my numbers that Bobby corrected on that 100 million. People are begging for Vince McMahon to come back, saying it was better family entertainment. The storylines were a lot better. That Triple H has failed in his job. I mean, Triple H is a puppet for Stephanie or for his wife anyway. But it's so sad to see a man that size have his nuts cut off. But it is what it is. Well, anyway, the product is failing, just like we said it was going to do 3 years ago when all this started to take place. Everything we laid out then is happening just quicker than we all thought it was going to happen.
Well, I've heard this before that people are coming down really hard on Triple H, but it's not really Triple H because he's just one member of the board.
He's the talent manager, though. He's the one that's supposed to be in charge of bringing the talent and doing the storylines, and they suck.
from what they're
Storyline's
saying,
usually different than talent.
yeah, from what they're saying, he still has to answer and get approval. So he's not end all says all anymore. It might
I'd
have
say, like,
started out like that, but it's not how it is right now. It's like he's been because Roman Reigns came on. I don't know if it was SmackDown or Raw last week, and said something about creative in one of his promos. And basically, it was calling out Triple H. And one of the other hot topics is everyone's talking about was that promo for The Rock's benefit? Because they're saying that Rock still wants to go in there and take over Triple H's job. So was Roman Reigns throwing the first jab for the Rock's family, since Roman Reigns is part of the Rock's family? And
Well, is Dwayne going to marry Triple H's wife too?
well, see, I know you keep saying Stephanie's so much involved, but really she's not involved anymore. She doesn't hold a seat on the board.
I'd say, isn't The Rock a member of the board?
The
Yeah,
Rock
he's a member
is.
of the board.
So I really can't say that it's Triple H is messing this up. I mean, we don't know. Could it be the handcuffs on Triple H that he's not able to get everything that he wants? Or is it truly him just saying that he doesn't have control, but he has control?
Well, all the talent says it's Triple H's fault, and I'll believe the talent before Triple H. So,
Yeah,
not
but
that I believe everything they say anyway, because I've
yeah,
known too many of them.
that's
So-
one of the stories I was going to get into was is The Rock still wanted to get in there and take control? One, because we posted on it that TKO paid The Rock a lot of fucking money, and he only showed up like 3 times last year, which he was supposed to show up more. He was supposed to have that whole WrestleMania moment that with John Cena that totally kind of got wiped again, because it was supposed to be The Rock and Roman Reigns, and then Cody Rhodes interrupted that one, and the fans got behind Cody Rhodes, so they were supposed to postpone it till the next year, and then it got postponed again. So Tico's paying Rock a lot of money just to sit on the board and not do anything while he's off doing movies. So is he wanting to stop? I mean, his last movies, they haven't been gold either.
I just watched Smashing Machine the other night, and it was not good.
No, it was not.
He was flabbergasted he didn't get a nomination for Academy Award.
I watched it too, and it was so
he's straight delusional,
drawn out,
And there was no point to it. Like,
yeah,
no,
I mean,
no climax to a build-up finish, like nothing.
Like
I get it. It's hard when it's a biography and you want to stay true to the story, but I don't know. I guess that's why you got to Hollywoodize some stuff.
Well, what I thought about when I was watching the movie was his fellow coach, who also entered the tournament, the last tournament they were both in, where The Rock's character lost, but his coach / almost opponent won the tournament. That would have been a better story to tell than The Rock's.
They were building it like it was going to happen.
Yes.
Like, they did extra interview segments on it and everything. It's like, if you knew that wasn't going to happen, like, probably shouldn't have focused so much on that and found like more drama going into his last match.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what happens when you let a guy with zero experience. I know he's been in a lot of movies, but there's a difference between being an actor, being a director, producer, being a showrunner, and then being on the movie maker side. It's a whole different ethos. And
I'll even toss this in here. His daughter, who was the general manager of SmackDown, I didn't know this, but evidently she is a lesbian, and her girlfriend was a fellow wrestler, and that wrestler got let go, and so she quit. and they were talking about, what her quitting, was it a part to do with the internal board members? Was it a retaliation of the girlfriend being fired? And the Rock's, her being the Rock's daughter, threw the Rock's name in there too, and that speculation. So it's a whole clusterfuck that's going on right now.
Well,
And
the
these people
girl
need
in
to
there.
separate
When did
business
the Rock's mom come to CAC? Was it 2 years
last
ago?
year.
The first time that we saw her. The first time.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
And she talked about taking Ava to the training center back then. So she's been training for a couple years and still can't get a match. So she might have also quit just because it wasn't working out.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I mean, let's also face it, like, I don't know them personally, but I'm going to assume she grew up with a silver spoon in her mouth. And she probably is like, hey, I can make more money doing other things at this point.
Or not have to do anything and still make more money.
Yeah, I meant, like, without putting
Yeah.
her body through anything.
Yeah, and she had replied some about that her the $7 company, the Rocks company. No, actually it was them. It was the company that said, well, she quit because she is going to come work for the family, and we have spots open for her to come work for the $7. So
That worked out real well for her, didn't it?
you're right. But
Yeah,
I don't
people
know.
just need to separate business and personal. It's like nobody wants to hear athletes talk about politics or religion. Just shut up and do your job and entertain. You're an
Well-
entertainer. Entertain and shut your mouth.
And right after she quit, when she was no longer an employee, she got on Twitter and said, I can finally open my mouth and tell you guys, fuck ICE. So not even 24 hours later, she's already throwing some political crap out there.
Nobody gives a shit about her or what she thinks.
Right.
And we're
Yeah.
not going to get into politics here, even though we all three pretty much think the same thing. The
I say,
three
but
other people that
unlike
watch-
places like on TV, we're not going to alienate half of our audience.
Right.
No, I mean, because we're here to entertain and dump on WWE and promote local wrestling. We're not here to talk about politics or religion or your sexual orientation. I don't care that Bobby likes guys.
Hey,
Bobby's
tell
still
from
a
my
good
comment.
dude. Yeah, but you notice, Jim, we can't see what's above and what's below because those things
Yeah.
could be fake. They
Nathan,
look fake.
the man owns a shirt that says $20 is $20. So
That is true, and he's got that.
I also own a shirt that says my favorite pronoun, or I love pronouns. Mine are let me she them titties.
all right. So my next topic is about WWE again, because they're just full of topics this week. This actually was happened last week, but if you guys have been following along, we actually have not been on the air the last 2 weeks, and it's due to a death in the family. Me and Bobby are actually related in a way that we both married sisters, and their father had passed away, and that time kind of took us off the air for a couple of weeks while the family got together and dealt with that situation. So this actually was talked about last week, but it's been talked about every day since then. So I want to talk about it and get your guys' feeling about it. So as a wrestler, sometimes you can feel like there's a ceiling. Some say it's a glass ceiling that you can't get over, and that sometimes, rare occasions, you can break through that glass ceiling. But WWE has a show called Unreal, and on this show, Michael Hayes, which is one of the head talent relations people, right below Triple H, is what I was told. He made a statement about one of their wrestlers, and it just so happens to be Chelsea Green that he made the statement on. Now, we've been talking about Chelsea Green, about how good she's been, and making it back to the company, because she was one of them that was let go and did some great independent work and got hired back. And she's actually pretty great. I mean, if you YouTube her versus Pinta, I mean, it's a hell of a match for a guy versus girl.
I'll say I would agree, and I hate intergender matches, but they played everything to me perfectly if you're going to do an intergender match.
Yes. And so the statement from Michael Hayes, and I'm going to try to read his quote. Chelsea makes the most out of her time. She does the same work whether we give her 30 minutes or 30 seconds, which is great because she's not meant to be there for 30 minutes. She's not meant to be the top star. She's meant to put the top star over. Uh, Basically saying that she will never be a top star, that she's there to get
She's a
people
jobber.
over.
Yeah, she's a jobber.
And yes, basically she's a jobber. Now, to hear your boss say that in a private setting is not comfortable most of the time either. But not know that situation until it's broadcasted on TV for millions and millions of people to see before they even have that conversation with you, that's a bullshit way of finding out. And so she did not know that that's how they felt about her. Now, she said that she had internal struggles, wondering if she could ever, that she felt like there was a glass ceiling that they wouldn't allow her to break through, but she always had that hope that one day she can break through it and become one of those top stars. And matter of fact, she just was. She wasn't the Intercontinental. She was the other women's championship, the middle title,
The
U.S. title, very
But
first
she-
women's U.S.
I
title.
say she said it in one of her posts. She's like, it's one thing to think that, it's another thing to hear your boss say it.
Well,
So-
and then she just lost the mixed tag team champ and injured on SmackDown.
Yes. So yeah, now she's injured. They showed
Injured.
pictures of her ankle. No, they. I mean,
Is she really injured? They're not doing it as a gimmick?
No, this was on her personal stuff, her personal X account, that she showed pictures of her ankle. And yeah, I mean, she was, what do they call it? What was she?
The
The tag?
AAA mixed tag team.
Yeah, mixed tag team with Ethan Page, and they were supposed to this weekend. They had a show, and they were supposed to defend those belts, and they ended up having another lady substitute for her, so the belts can be defended. But yeah, I mean, to me, she's great, and it's not that many female wrestlers that actually can pull their weight and actually have a great match that looks like a match. Because we give a bunch of people shit about how a lot of the women's matches lately have been horrible, where everything is, you can see it coming, or they take their fucking time so slow to get into a move that it makes it look like shit.
I got like 3 different thoughts on it. One, if it's what everybody thinks it is, and like he just said it like that, Michael Hayes is an idiot. She's, like you said, the best female wrestler on there.
Yeah.
2, maybe it was taken out of context because of video editing, and maybe he was saying like, right here in this moment, we need her to put these people over. That I can kind of get behind a little bit more. Or 3, it's not really unscripted like they tell everybody, and they're trying to create drama where something will build back at the end.
I would almost lean, I would hope it's the third, because if it's the first one where it was taken out of text, it's their company that's making this TV program. So if they're in there, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more than one person in there editing and making
Well,
sure that they don't go
and I
too
don't
far.
even know like how the whole episode went with it because I refuse to watch the show. So that's why I say maybe it's out of context because I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's to me, it's just horrible. Everywhere I've worked, I've always been the boss, and that's a conversation that you should have with that employee. And Michael Hayes and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green's an employee, and he is one of the bosses. So that should have been a private conversation. But this isn't the first time that Michael Hayes has slipped up and done something stupid. Because there was a big situation with him and Mark Henry. Because I don't know if it was at a bar or where they were, but Michael Hayes made a racist joke, and Mark Henry was there, and he took offense to it. Of course, why wouldn't he take offense to it? And it literally got Michael Hayes suspended. Technically, it was fired, um, but on the books, he probably was just suspended because he literally got his job back and the same job only a few months later. So it was one of those things that we're going to punish you, keep you on the books, and bring you back and just tell everyone that we let you go. But so he is known to open his mouth and put his foot in it. So I don't know. Hopefully there is no glass ceiling because that's the last thing you want to hear as a wrestler. And it's been proven so many times that, oh, what the hell?
What?
My screen just went.
Oh no,
See,
I see you just fine.
We can still see you looking all confused. I heard a beep when you said that.
Are you using your laptop, your PC, or your
Yeah.
phone?
Okay, there we go. I am back. Anyway, that's the last thing you want to hear as a wrestler, that there's a glass ceiling on you and you can't break it. Because we all know in the wrestling world, breaking this fourth wall here, it's all about the promoter, the booker, the storyteller, as you would say, on who is able to break that glass ceiling and not.
I have a feeling it was number 3, and this is the Hollywoodizing it part. And by the end of this season, that's when they'll show her winning the AAA title or something, and be like, "Oh, she's great. I was mistaken."
And the really messed up part is her husband just got his job back. Matt Cardona is her husband, and literally he just got rehired like a month ago.
He
And
talks a lot about eating her cakes.
um, who was the guy
She's a good baker.
that left WWE and went to WCW and then it tanked? Eric Bischoff and the other guy.
Oh, Russo.
Rusev. Okay, so
Not
he
Rusev,
is.
Russo.
Yeah,
Vince.
Russo. Um, he is like the booker for Juggalo Championship Wrestling, and he had just put the belt on Matt Cardona. Literally, the next day, Triple H hires him, and Russo went on his podcast today bitching and finally letting it out and airing his grievances that Matt Cardona has been doing these one-off bookings for WWE for the last couple months because he was in the John Cena last man tournament. And he did another one-off on NXT where TNA interfered with NXT, and he was doing all that, and Triple H never re-signed him. But then the day after Russo put the JCW belt on him, he gets signed, and he said that was just a stab at, not even a stab in the back. It was gotcha, bitch, type of,
It's hard to argue with it with how they've used him since signing him.
Right. Yeah, because they haven't used him too much either. He
And
was
if they
number
do, they
6
job
in the
him.
Royal Rumble, and he was out before number 8 came in, basically. So
Has he won a match since he's been back?
he won his debut match. I know that. I've seen that one. But I don't think he's had any other matches air on TV. So I don't know. But they're stupid if they don't use him because he's got such a following behind him.
Oh yeah.
Because his toy company is doing great. His podcast is doing great. I mean, he was the number one independent wrestler for like last 3 years in a row.
Even when he was there as Zack Ryder the first time, like he was the self-proclaimed internet champion because he had all these things with the following of the people.
Yeah, and so they're stupid if they don't use him. I mean, he
You don't even
is
got to throw the heavyweight title on him. Just fucking give him a story.
totally agree. All right, so that was
So we lean in that it was just a scripted thing.
That's what I'm hoping.
yeah, that's the hope.
But like Jim said, Michael Hayes sticks his foot in his mouth all the time. And you got to kind of remember that with some of these guys like Michael Hayes too. Like they don't come from a business world with HRs, like not even an employee at one. They're
Right.
Since they've been 17, 18 years old, they've been traveling the road, drinking in bars and doing lots of other drugs. That's their business training. So he might really just be that dumb.
Yeah. So that was all the hot topics. In tonight's Raw, it wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it wasn't the best one. It was a nice mix because they had a lot of returns. And that's the only thing I want to add to tonight's Raw. You had Becky Lynch open Raw up, and immediately AJ Lee comes out. So it was nice to have AJ Lee come back. She did a one-off with a tag match, her and Punk, her husband, versus Becky and Seth Rollins. So it was a married couple versus a married couple. So that was a little different, but it was a one-off. So this time she actually came out and she's now challenging Becky to the Intercontinental belt.
And I would wholeheartedly agree with you. I never mind looking at AG.
Anyway, so she was one of them that
Come
came
out
back.
every time.
And then Jimmy Uso finally came back. He's been out for a few weeks now, and they haven't said why. They just said that he had to go home. Now, I do know his wife is actually pregnant, and she was a fellow wrestler as well. So I don't know if it was complications of that, or he's also known to have a couple DUIs. So it could be something pertaining to the law that he couldn't leave the house for a while. But he officially came back tonight with his brother.
Him and Jacob have something in common.
Right. But they finally, because they're the tag champions too. The Usos are the tag champions, and one half of the tag champions has been missing Raw. But they finally came back together and defended the belts tonight.
Just gonna throw it out there. They could have done like the old WWF in your house commercials and had a match in his living room.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things they could have done. They could have made him lose the belts too. Had Jay wrestle by himself since his brother couldn't show up.
Yeah.
Dirty Dom came back, so he was out with I think he was out with a shoulder injury too. A lot of people has been getting injured because Liv Morgan just came back a few weeks ago and she was out with a shoulder injury. Natalie came and wrestled tonight. Wasn't really a match. I don't think it was a great spot for her either. She, as Bobby talked about, she was showing her dominant style. So it really, I'll just admit, they both got counted out within the first couple minutes of the match. And then she put her in a sharpshooter on top of the announcer's table. I do say that Natalie's got a look to her now. Her hair's all braided and she's wearing like the mouth guard. And anytime guy or girl, once you put the mouth guard in, it kind of gives you that fierce looking face. It prompts the lips up and everything. And so she looked cool, but it just didn't look right, didn't feel right. So she came out and wrestled. And then the original El Grande Americano came back tonight.
Mark Henry.
Yeah. So Mark Henry, who amazingly is now like 4'10", came back out tonight.
As you get older, you shrink, I was told.
No, yeah. Well, I mean that is true. I'm proof of that. But he had a tag match versus the current El Grande Americano's two henchmen. Of course, number two, El Grande Americano, was there on ringside and interfered in the match. The original El Grande. Oh, I tell you what. I wish I could remember the guy's name that the original one tagged with, because they did this spot. The finish of the match, the original El Grande was in the middle of the ring on his back, and one of the henchmen climbed to the top rope to do something, whether it be a splash on top of him. But when he jumped off, the tag partner jumped from another ring corner post and actually RKO'd him in the middle of the ring. And the timing had to be on spot for this, because you got two guys leaping from corner posts to meet in the middle of the ring and to grab a hold of them and land perfectly. And it happened. So kudos to them. I wish I could remember his name. He's a newcomer to Raw. Been in NXT for quite some time though. But it was a great
His old
spot.
partners, I know he teamed with Otis for a long time.
Otis is actually who wrestled Uso, the Usos earlier on the night.
Otis is still around. I thought he got released.
No, well, I mean, unless he came back, but he wrestled with that I actually wrote down his name, Kasawa or Kazuki or something like that. It was Otis and
Is that the one with the headband and the blonde?
Yeah. It was those two guys going against the Usos. Give me a second. Let me see if I can pull up this guy's name, because he's a young guy, and I don't know. Oh, I'm gonna have to put my.
I know he had the Creed brothers with him for a little while. Yeah, Chris, was it Chris Jordan or
Javon Evans?
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Very new kid. I think it's his second or third week on Raw. And he's a very tall, skinny black guy who does a lot of aerial moves. And he pulled off a damn good one tonight. One I probably doubt they'll do repeatedly, because it's a move that can go wrong in so many ways.
Yeah.
You got to really time that fucker really well. So after the original El Grande Americano won with Jay Evans, the El Grande Americano number 2 jumped them, and then all three of them kind of beat up on those guys. So it's in talks that it's going to be if they can hold off till WrestleMania, it's going to be those two going against each other. And there's, speculations that it's going to be mask versus mask to see who is, the original El Grande Americano. So that's kind of cool. So I just wanted to toss that in there. I know we're about 45 minutes in, so I want to talk about Sicw real quick, because
well, I don't think we can talk much longer.
I know. We just had a show, and Bobby is now under doctor's supervision, I guess you would say. And Bobby had to pull out of his upcoming match.
So you see the Shriners titles no longer hanging behind me.
So it's a shame, because it was supposed to be Bobby defending that belt against Attila Khan. But now the belt is up in the air, and it's going to be Jason Breed versus Attila Khan for that belt. I believe it's for that belt.
So what happened, Bobby?
Yeah.
Well, you had the Deathmatch King from Japan, Pondo, Madman Pondo, and Attila. They were in a tag match against the St. Louis Saints. And match was over. They were going a little crazy. I decided to go out there, help my brother from another mother, Jason Patton, out. Or Jason Breed, sorry.
Breed.
Well, I just posted it and I tagged him in it with his name, so that was in my brain. Anyway, when I decided to go out there and give him a hand, ended up going through a table. Attila put me through a table, and then he basically bent me over and put a brick on my back, and then crazy ass pondos hit it with a sledgehammer and exploded everywhere and hurt like hell.
Let's take you back to your garbage man.
I never did anything like that. This was a new one and a new feeling that I didn't like. So, yeah, Breed is taking my spot. I believe he'll at least get some payback for me. Hopefully, he'll come home with that title.
You bringing your sledgehammer there, Jim?
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if I'm on the card. It's undecided. I've not been told anything. I will say that Saturday I had a match against Kenny Kingston. It was a return match because I lost to him a few, I guess, a month or so ago. Might have been 2 months ago.
He goes by the pit bull, doesn't he?
Yeah, the pit bull. And I got a little revenge on him. Besides the 1, 2, 3, I had suplexed him and I ripped. You know, he's got his hair in like dreadlocks or braids or something, and I ripped a whole section out of his head. And now I have it tucked up in my cowboy hat as a little tail. So
It looks like
have,
he's walking around with a rat tail. Most hair on his head.
Yeah. And so now I got my revenge on him with a pin and a whole bunch of hair. So I'm going to keep that on the cowboy hat for a little while as a little reminder. Don't fuck with me. But
well, I'm proud you finally got some hair on your head, Jim. That's awesome.
Yeah. But we do have a show coming up in 2 weeks, February 17th. That's the Shriner show. It's February 17th, right? Am I correct on the date?
21st.
21st. Okay. So February the 21st. It's an early show. It starts at 2:00. It's in beautiful East St. Louis at the Shriners Lodge. Beautiful building.
Dripping with sarcasm.
Dripping. But it literally is a beautiful building.
The building is beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's an early matinee show, kind of like the old school days where they used to run 2 shows a night.
Now, is that the poster I saw with the tag match going on later on? Is there a tag match in that one? A big tag match?
Probably is. I think it is. St. Louis Saints versus Brandon Espinoza and one of his 2 henchmen that he's got carrying around him.
Well, unless Breed's wrestling twice, he's going against Attila.
Oh, that's right. So no, that's got to be the March 7th show.
That's the March one. Let me check her real quick. Oh, WE just let it out that they're going to have Bad Bunny do something at their next event, which is absolutely stupid.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
I mean, again, is it though? Because like, whether you believe in any of his music or any of that other stuff or not, like, he did just play at the Super Bowl, and then they're gonna pick up off of some of that fame. You have half the country like over defending him when he didn't even really do anything, and so you're gonna have all those people tuning in. Like they're playing off of his 10 minutes of fame.
Yeah, they're playing smart because a lot of people hate WWE because they're supporters of Trump. And now they're bringing Bad Bunny on, who's totally against Trump. Kind of get both best of both worlds, I would imagine, is their game plan. But
it is Dysfunction against Curtis Weil and Billy McNeil on the 7th, so the same day.
21st of the show.
Oh, the 21st. Sorry, that's the one that just happened. Where's the? I guess Herb doesn't have that one out yet.
Okay, so yeah, so let's just start from the beginning. February 21st, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Holy shit.
That's gonna be
That's
really
one hell of a show. That's a part of the
Right.
show.
Especially in East St. Louis.
Yeah.
So 2 p.m. is a matinee show at the Shriners Lodge.
I do want to cut in real quick though, because we do keep joking about East St. Louis. We mentioned it last year. The parking lot's gated. It's got security. It is very safe area in there.
Yeah, and yeah, they do have security. They watch over everything. There's cameras all over the place.
There's
Very
never been
safe,
an
secure
there's never
place.
been an incident. Everybody's always been safe.
Right. But it is also probably the reason why it's a 2 p.m. show. That way we can get everyone in, we can celebrate, have a great time, and then leave. But that's that show. But what I want to talk about, just spend a few minutes, and then we'll head into our favorite time of the night. We have a FanFest 4 coming up. And what started out just to be a handful of guys, we now have over 30. So it's been.
Haku, Robert Gibson. I'm seeing
Yeah, so
the
I have the
Colorado
list in front of
family
me. I'll
reunion
just
tour.
run through
Yeah,
it real quick. So
can
we
your
have.
voice can your voice get through it all? Because there's a lot of names on there.
We'll see. Bob Orton, of course, he was just announced today. We have Harvey Whippleman. We have Sonny from Glow, Bobby Fulton, Barbara Goodish, Mac Davis, Dan Severin, Rick McCord, Paul Ellering from LOD, Legion of Doom, Mickey James, Jack Doan, Buff Bagwell, Ricky Morton, Kerry Morton.
Ricky Martin will be cool coming in too, though.
Yeah, he just played the Super Bowl too. Carlito, Tommy Rich, Warlord, Barbarian, Teddy Long, Cameron Despetto. I probably butchered that name, and I'm sorry because he's a cool guy. Haku, Brooklyn Brawler, JBL, Johnny Rods, who is also being inducted into the Hall of Fame that night. Doink, D-Lo, Spike Hubert, Axe, Smash, both from Demolition. The American Giant, Doug Gilbert. Did I say Tommy Rich?
You did now.
The Ivan Bear Koloff tour is going to be there. So, Ivan went into the Hall of Fame last year, and he was inducted by Nikita. So Nikita is coming back. This time he's bringing the whole family. I believe there's 4 more of those guys.
Ivan, Nikita, Vladimir, and Neil all are going to be there.
Well, Ivan, like I said, he's passed away.
Well,
There's another one who's actually going to be wrestling that night, and I'm sure Nikita is going to be in his corner, so that's going to be interesting. I also heard rumors that a few of these other legends might hop in the ring, especially if a young Glenn Williams keeps opening his mouth. He's been calling out JBL left and right every single show. So we'll see if his foot gets, thrown down his throat or not. But it all starts off with Mick Foley running the Friday night show, which is, was it May 8th and May 9th, I think is the Fan Fest. If you guys can double check me on that. But the first night is a Friday night, and it's going to be ran by Mick Foley. He's going to do a one-man show, which is basically a comedy routine / storytelling time. And then he's going to have a private signing where you can bring whatever you want signed. There's going to be combo deals where you get your picture and the product signed for a pretty decent price.
and you were correct. It's May 8th and 9th.
And a lot of the other legends are going to be there Friday night signing autographs. But the main thing starts Saturday. I believe it's at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. And that starts the Fan Fest. So all 30 plus legends. And I've heard from this weekend that there's going to be even more added to this. So there's still some legends that have not been released yet.
And if you guys are going to get an autograph and picture with Mickey James, she's only going to be there for 3 hours on the night from noon to 3. So
And
make sure you attend.
It's going to go until about 5 o'clock, and then a small little break, just enough for us to rearrange the room, and then we'll do the Hall of Fame. That normally takes about an hour, hour and a half, depending on who's on the mic. Because if you give Herb the mic, it's going to go very slower, because he likes to throw in a lot of details and egg it on a little bit, which is fine. Love the stories that they tell.
Well,
But
he
after
trained me.
that is going to be the wrestling show. And there's going to be individual matches. They have not been announced yet. But the main part of this show is the Bruiser Brody Battle Memorial, which is the reason why we put this thing together in the first place.
We're going to see a three-peat.
The Fan Fest started originally as just the Bruiser Brody Battle Memorial. It was just a one-night thing, and Barbara Goodish would come in, and whoever won the Battle Royal would be hand-delivered the trophy by Barbara, which is Bruiser Brody's widow. And they would, from time to time, they would bring in special guests like Abdullah the Butcher, or someone who had a long storytelling time with Bruiser Brody. And that kind of just morphed into Fan Fest. And now we're on the 4th year of Fan Fest, where it's been, God, I bet you we've had 30 legends each Fan Fest by now. I think the first one we might have had 25, but shoot. The second or third Fan Fest, I think we had close to 60. So it's unbelievable. I think that was Fan Fest number 2 that we had that amount of number. It was kind of crazy. But it's definitely going to be a good time if you're a wrestling fan. You can get your autographs, get your pictures, and then you can stay for a wrestling show. I brought this up to a bunch of my followers on my social media accounts that if you're a big rubber guy collector, Matt Cardona's company, Collect Major, they are the ones that do the big rubber guys. Half the people on our list of legends coming in just received the big rubber guy. Huh?
I said, that's the first one. I'm pretty sure there's over 30 on there.
Yeah. That's the one I'm looking at too. But, you got Haku, just had a big rubber guy. 2 of them come out. Barbarian, the Warlord, Ricky Martin, Robert Gibson. They've all had big rubber guys within this year.
Ricky Martin again?
Yes, damn it.
Yeah, Ricky Martin.
You're really wanting to live La Vida Loca.
Yeah.
That's my dance.
Morton.
Ricky Morton, and Robert Gibson. They both just had big rubber guys come out, and you can get these guys autographed. The way they do their packaging, there's a big old spot right here for a nice, beautiful autograph with their figure being shown. And if you're like me, that is ideal. I've got almost all the wrestlers that's going to be legends for that night. They're big rubber guys, so I can get them autographed.
Yeah, but yours don't stay in the package, do they?
Well, see, that's the great thing about these packages. They have no seal, so literally it just comes out and slides back in. You can put the figure right back in the package. So it's an awesome thing they got going on, because they are collectors as well. And even though they are wrestlers, the whole thing about wrestlers not wanting pictures of them with other wrestlers and not having other wrestlers' autographs is a thing of the past. It used to be taboo if you're a wrestler and you asked to get a picture with another wrestler. It's like, oh, you're a fucking mark. Well, that's in the past. Now those legends wish they had pictures with their friends that they wrestled in the ring. And I hear it a lot. I wish. And a lot of times these fan fests, when these fans bring them these pictures to autograph, more cases, 9 out of 10 times, they ask for that. Like, man, I've never seen this picture before. Do you have another copy of this picture? Can I have that copy? And like our friend Frank Murphy, he will bring extra copies of what he wants signed just in case a legend wants a copy of that picture, because they don't have it.
I remember it was probably 2004-ish when you and me went to see Farouk, and I had printed out a picture of him like when he first was had that plaque for being the first African American world champion. And I remember him being taken back by where did you get this?
Yeah. and they just never collected their shit. And like Bob Orton told me when I asked him, I said, "Do you keep any of your stuff?" Because his pink hat. That was the conversation we were having. I asked him. I said, "That pink hat that you got from Adrian Adonis is such a unique piece. Do you still have it?" And he goes, "No, I gave that to an auction company a long time ago." These wrestlers never kept their gear, and that's why WWE did that whole treasures show. They went around trying to get Macho Man's scepter and his king crown, because they never kept any of that shit. So it's a good time if you're a wrestling fan to come in, get those pictures, get those autographs. But now is the best time of the show, only because it shows off my collection, shows off Bobby's collection. And I always let Bobby go first. So Bobby, hit us with what you got. And I'm sure it's a lot, and you might not want to do it all, because you probably got 3 weeks worth of shit.
Oh, we can speed run it. I'm sure you'll have plenty for us to make up for it next week. I got my X-Pac chase. I don't know how well you can see it, but like it's a little bit more of the NWO style of his when he was 6. Not X-Pac, but 6.
Yeah.
Got that in. And you'll see this at an upcoming show, because I do love the design being like a Cobra Kai style, but I'm not really a fan of Colt Cabana, but I still think it's a pretty cool looking shirt. Kind of reminds me of Johnny Lawrence.
Yeah.
The true hero of
True hero.
Yeah. I mean, he obeyed the rules, so I don't know. Danhausen, little squishy ball.
Well, he did sweep the leg.
Yeah, he swept it pretty good.
No, he didn't. A different Cobra Kai member did. He did not.
Oh.
Well, Bobby did too. Yeah,
I'll agree.
Bobby did too. And yes, if you remember, his name was Bobby. No relation to Bobby.
Of all time. That's Colt Cabana and somebody. Little sticker.
Okay.
Someone really tall.
Yeah.
Let's see, in the autograph of this one
is the Bobby D,
which I think I bought in Iowa as well. Is a Gangrel one.
Okay.
So I'll have to verify it, but if that is a repeat, I'll be selling that at a show. This shirt is staying in my collection. Good old Macho Man.
There we go. Macho Madness.
You want to talk about a wrestler good on the mic? That's a man right there. That was excellent.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is a repeat. One of those like WWE style comics where it's got Blackheart and Heyman and just some stories and whatnot. Repo Man, Micro Brawler.
There we go.
Pro Wrestling Crate little keychain thingy.
That Repo Man you might want to bring to the Fan Fest.
What's that?
That Repo Man.
You got a poster, Jericho and Moxley.
And that's another guy that, was supposed to be at the Royal Rumble, and we haven't heard.
So you gotta keep some surprises. It was too clear, too obvious. I don't know what that was. Oh, that was the pin. Stuff's falling everywhere. That's a repeat. That'll be at a show. New Jack pin.
Oh, New Jack. That's pretty cool.
Autograph. Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh.
Terrible autograph. Might have to have him redo that. That looks like it's just printed.
Might be. I mean,
unless he's one of these new age guys. He could be a new age guy that doesn't know cursive. Got a Buff Bagwell. 2-leg Buff Bagwell, I should add.
There you go.
Yeah, you can keep his legs on. Have him sign it with the legs on.
El Matador.
Who is that, Bobby?
Yeah.
That is.
He already forgot his name.
Yep.
Ricky Santana. Not Ricky.
Yeah, I was going to say he's
Tito.
You've been a guest over and over and over again. You've talked to him several times.
He's a very nice guy. Very personable. Young Buck sticker.
Yeah, you can sell that one too.
Yeah, I don't care about Young Bucks. Another one that's going to be staying in my collection. I don't care if it's pink.
Tell us how you really feel.
You got the Owen Hart shirt. Is enough
Yeah.
is enough, and it's time for a chance. Calgary, Alberta,
Change.
on the back.
Time for a change.
Yep, it does say change. Reading's hard, and I don't remember what this one was. Oh, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Okay. He just had a big rubber guy come out too. AEW guy.
Timeless Tony Stormpin.
She
That
just had
looks
a
like
big
a
rubber guy too.
looks like a Betty Boop.
Yeah. It's timeless.
And the last autograph.
It's the Big Texan. I shoved it in there. He doesn't know it though.
2 autographs.
See?
What's his name? He was trying to do a $1 Million Man gimmick in NXT.
I don't know.
He's actually had some decent matches, but they didn't let him wrestle that much.
Oh.
I've never seen that man before. I have no idea who he is.
I'll tell you his name when Jim's talking. And then you got Mero.
Mark Mero. The first husband to Sable. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know that story or not, but they were still married when Brock Lesnar got in there. And
Yeah.
he was like, as soon as he found out it was Brock Lesnar, he was like, okay. He wasn't gonna confront Brock. He didn't
Yeah,
want
but lead weighs more than muscle, so.
Cameron Grimes. Yeah, they tried to I remember they even tried to do the classic basketball thing where he kicks the ball out and everything. Like, they were trying to make him a ripoff of $1 Million Man.
And that's horrible because they tried that gimmick so many times. I mean, they tried it with Austin when he was not stunning Steve. When
Never
he was, Steve Austin. They did it with him. They did it with, of course, $1 Million Man's son when he came out. They immediately gave him the belt, and he was supposed to pick up where his dad left off. So it's a gimmick that could have only been done once, and Ted did it right. Is that the last of your boxes?
That's it.
All right. Well, I've been showing off the package a few times, but let me just show off the
Well,
figure.
not on here you haven't. This is YouTube.
Keep it PG.
I meant this package, retards. But this is one of the latest big rubber guys. Is the Macho Man, and it's Macho Man USA. They also made the Cincinnati Reds Macho Man because he was the catcher for the Cincinnati Reds. And I am petitioning for a St. Louis Cardinals Macho Man because he was also in the St. Louis Cardinals farm team of AA, and I think he made it up to A, but he was the catcher, and he was the catcher for a couple years. So if you're on my Facebook, you can see that I posted, I had AI change the pattern and make it into a St. Louis Cardinals Macho Man. So I'm officially petitioning that they come out with a St. Louis Cardinals. But very cool pickup. This is like probably the 4th or 5th Macho Man they came out with. This is my only second Macho Man that I picked up from them. One in just regular gear, and one in this display because this was pretty cool. You can no longer get these unless you get them on the secondary market because literally they sold out in less than an hour. And as soon as I seen it, I grabbed it and bought one. I was talking about how I'm trying to pick up the first figure from legends that I grew up watching. And so I picked up Steve Austin's very first action figure, and it is in a pretty minty package. But it's the Bad Boys line, but it's Stone Cold Steve Austin's first action figure. So I'm going to add that to that display along with Brock Lesnar's and John Cena's and Randy Orton's. Stone Cold definitely was a childhood hero of mine. Just that anti-antagonism, F your boss type of guy. I also picked up another mint card, but this is back in the Hasbro's. So this is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. It is a French card, but again, this thing is straight. It's only got no. This one doesn't have any creases. I got one coming of a different wrestler that I got confused with, but this one, there's no creases on it at all. It's pretty straight, mint in the package, and I got this one just because the story that I tell about Ricky the Dragon Steamboat coming to SICW. And he watched my match, and I have pictures someone took of us in the locker room where he pulled me aside and told me, hey, I watched your whole match. This is what I loved. This is what I hated. This is what I need you to work on. And this was right when he left WWE as a producer, so he knows what he's talking about. And I just love the fact that he took the time. I didn't ask him to watch my match. He took it upon himself to do it, and then critiqued it for me. So it was awesome. I picked up, I'm just going to go over four more things. I picked up a cool Sergeant Slaughter. I think I talked to you guys about it on the podcast before because it's a toy, but yet he has a toy version of himself there too that he can hold. So it's a toy holding a toy of the same guy. I thought that was kind of cool, so I picked this one up.
Toyception there. Toyception.
Yeah. And my last wrestler, I also talked about this on the podcast that I was looking for it, and I finally, I play the long game with a lot of things. So I find the things that I want, and then I watch them, and they come and go, and then finally they'll come to the price that I want. And it's not like this was a high dollar figure or anything, but I don't like to pay more than $5 for a loose figure. And I picked up Stardust. This is Cody Rhodes, but they made him into an alien.
So those are really long fingers and a weird head.
Yeah, and he's got weird feet, and so I thought this was unique. And it's he's got multiple different figures, but he's only got one where he's actually Stardust. So I thought that was very cool. So I picked him up. And then two things that is not wrestling related, but I love one of the lines and another line that I'm just kind of started to get into. I picked up the Men in Black Zap'em van. It's a very cool toy. I have the whole line now of the Men in Black figures just for Men in Black 1. They do have figures for Men in Black 2 and Men in Black 3, but
4, 5, and 6.
They don't have a 5 or 6.
How far are you going to go in collecting that line?
I think this is it. Well, I take that back. I'm going to collect one figure from the third movie, and I can't remember his name, but he was the alien that would shoot things out of his hands. He looked like a biker. Matter of fact, in the beginning of the movie, he's right around on a bike. But I love the very first movie, Men in Black. If it's on TV, when I'm flipping through the channels, I'm stopping and I'm watching it. This is the van that the spaceship was in. So there's the spaceship. Spaceship does come off.
That's
And Edgar is the alien. And here's the alien in the spaceship. So it's kind of cool. And if you push down on the spaceship, Edgar comes out of the windshield. So it's just a very cool, unique toy. And it's the last thing I needed to finish that toy line off. So when I do finish my basement, because it is my plan to finish the basement and then have every shelf a different toy line, and hopefully it's the full run of each toy line. This one, I wasn't going to collect these figures, but then I found this one at the mall, which I never go to the mall, but we had to go to the mall for some clothes for the funeral. And I went to one of the toy stores. Don't even remember the name of it. But he was on clearance for like $10 fucking. And where I normally shop, downtown Belleville at I Had That, which plug intended, they help us with SICW. They allow me to hang their posters up in their window. There he goes for about $30 to $40. But it's from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And this is Slim. I picked up the two guns from the Killer Clowns movie because the guns are very cool. Those are going to stay in the packages. Not too sure if I'm going to open him up or not. It was very cool that I got him on such a heavy discount. Unfortunately, this was the only one they had, and there's like 6 clowns that they have in that movie. But I thought it was very cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's some trinky dinks I picked up. I always pick up a California Raisin if it's a one I don't have. This is a bowling one, kind of cool. Nothing big.
Man, I used to have the whole line of the California Raisins.
Yeah. And this is an old Smurf. It's a mechanical Smurf. It's from 1970. And he does a little walking. But, I pick up Smurfs too. Every now and then when I don't have the particular one. And I never had one like this. So it was very cool. But little trinkets. But I'm going to save some stuff for next week. Very cool pickups. I mean, I really love the Austin. Love the new Macho Man. And definitely that van. That van is freaking awesome. I don't know how I'm going to display it. Just because you can't have them in the window if you're not pushing down on the spaceship. But it's kind of cool to have the spaceship in the back of the van. I was thinking about it. You can open the spaceship up and have them shown off like this, but you got to be on a low shelf so you can see the alien. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, you'll figure something out. Put a stick in there that just presses it down.
Yeah, a little heavy rock or something.
Yeah.
But very cool pickups. I'm still going to add to my big rubber guys for the legends that are coming in because I think that'll be so cool to get them to sign those guys. But yeah, that's it. So anything else from you guys?
That's all I got.
That's
No,
all.
everything I wanted to talk about is we covered.
Perfect. All right. So just a couple of months away from the Fan Fest, 2 weeks away from the next SICW show, 1 week away from the next podcast. So until then, we'll see you at the wrestling shows or next Thursday when we do this lovely meet and greet thing again. So you guys have a good night. We'll see you later.
Good night. We'll see you guys.